Welcome to the deep dive. When we talk about creatine, I think most people, myself included, immediately jump to muscles, maybe the gym, strength gains.
That's the standard association, definitely.
But today, we've done a deep dive into your sources, looking at the latest research, analyses, all the notes, and honestly, it's uncovered something pretty surprising. Creatine might just be, well, a key player for your brain.
It really might. Our mission here is to sift through that data and explore this other side of creatine, its role in brain health.
Okay, so let's start with the basics. The brain is this incredibly energy-hungry organ, right?
Absolutely. It uses, up to 20% of your body's total energy. It's massive.
Yeah.
And it really cannot tolerate running on empty for long.
Right. If the power dips, function dips. So our sources describe creatine as like the brain's uninterruptible power supply. Yeah. How exactly does that work?
Well, think of ATP. That's the brain's main sort of immediate energy currency. Creatine's crucial role is helping recycle that ATP very, very quickly.
How quickly are we talking?
We're talking like 5 to 10 seconds for that energy regeneration cycle, which is significantly faster than other ways the brain makes energy. It keeps that immediate power source topped up.
Okay, so it's a rapid energy buffer, but you're saying there's more to it.
Oh, definitely. That energy buffering is just the beginning. The research suggests it actually helps the mitochondria, the powerhouses of the cells, function better.
Ah, interesting.
And it also acts as a neuroprotector, like a shield for brain cells.
A shield against what?
Things like excitotoxicity. That's basically when brain cells get overstimulated and damaged, and also oxidative stress, that cellular wear and tear from harmful molecules. Plus, it seems to help reduce inflammation and even plays a role in modulating neurotransmitters.
Right. Neurotransmitters, the brain's chemical messengers, so it influences those too.
It seems to interact with those systems, potentially aiding their production or function. It's quite multifaceted.
What really struck me digging into the sources was this idea, maybe a misconception I had, that creatine is just a general make-you-smarter pill.
Right, a universal cognitive enhancer.
Exactly. But the research paints a different picture, doesn't it? It seems more targeted, less brain boost, more, what do the sources call it? Cognitive resilience agent.
That's a great way to put it. Cognitive resilience. It shines most when the brain's energy systems are already under stress or somehow compromised.
So it's not about making a perfectly functioning brain suddenly superhuman.
Precisely. It's about supporting the brain when it's working harder or isn't at its peak, which naturally leads to the question, who benefits most from that kind of support?
Yeah, if it's this resilience agent, this protector, where do we see the biggest impact, according to the research?
Well, the benefits seem most pronounced in specific groups. Think older adults, where energy metabolism might naturally decline.
Okay.
Also, people who are significantly sleep deprived, pulling those all-nighters really taxes the brain's energy.
Been there.
And vegetarians and vegans too, actually. They often have lower creatine levels from their diet, so supplementation can make a bigger difference. And of course, anyone under significant mental fatigue.
Right. And you mentioned a study with Alzheimer's patients.
Yes, a pilot study. It showed about an 11% increase in brain creatine levels and some moderate improvements in working memory. It's early research, but points towards that supportive role.
So if I'm facing a deadline, it's maybe more fundamental than just reaching for coffee, and it's also being looked at for things like TBI, traumatic brain injury.
Correct. As a potential neuroprotective agent after injury, and also as an adjunctive treatment for depression, meaning it might help other depression treatments work better. Not a standalone cure, but a helper.
Okay, that makes sense. Supporting this system when it's vulnerable.
Yeah.
So pulling this all together for someone listening, what's the key takeaway?
I'd say creatine is emerging as a really vital compound for keeping the brain resilient, particularly when those energy systems are strained.
And importantly, the cognitive benefits aren't usually instant, right? It takes time.
Exactly. It's cumulative. You often need several weeks of consistent use to really build up those brain levels and see effects.
And dosage is key here, too. The standard dose you might take for muscles probably isn't enough for the brain.
Generally, no. Brain saturation often needs higher doses. We're typically talking 5 to 10 grams daily in many studies, sometimes even higher, up to 20 or 30 grams in specific clinical trials.
Why so much higher for the brain?
It's mainly down to the blood-brain barrier. That protective layer around the brain is quite selective and, well, it limits how much creatine easily gets through, so you need a higher dose circulating to push enough across.
Got it. Now, safety. It's generally considered safe, but are there caveats? Our sources mentioned some important ones.
Yes, absolutely crucial. While safe for most healthy people, if you have pre-existing kidney issues, that's a major flag you need to talk to your doctor. Same goes for individuals with bipolar disorder. There's some theoretical concern about potentially triggering mania, so caution and medical advice are essential. And combining it with very high doses of caffeine might need consideration too.
So the bottom line is powerful effects, but it needs a smart, personalized approach, not a one-size-fits-all supplement.
Definitely not. It requires nuance.
Which brings us to a final thought, maybe something for you to chew on. In this world where we're constantly bombarded with information, always feeling mentally tired, how might understanding the unique energy needs of your brain, its specific metabolic profile, how might that be the real key to unlocking your full cognitive potential?
That's a question, isn't it? Moving beyond generic advice to really personalized brain health.
Something to think about. Thanks for diving deep with us today.